I'm Tim Ellis. Thank you for joining us for Laneway Live. Tonight's special guest comes to us all the way from Bavaria in Germany. He's a two-time FISM Award winner and a founding member of the legendary Flicking Fingers group. Please welcome Gaston.
My name is Gaston, and I'm a magician from Germany. Right now, I'm sitting alone at home because I don't know the English word for it. If you have to sit alone at home, because until the very last moment, I was performing in a way, and so I met a lot of people. And well, I'm living with my parents-in-law, and my daughter is kind of sick. The wife of my brother, my sister-in-law, so to speak, she is very low in the immune system. So now I'm living in my studio, and sometimes somebody is knocking on my door and bringing me food. Yeah, sometimes they forget me, but well, I have a lot of fun so far.
So you're quarantined within a quarantine.
Yeah, that's true. But the good thing, I'm really living in the countryside, like really countryside. And so even if I'm in quarantine, so I can go out and have a little sunshine, which is quite nice because in Germany it's springtime, so it's nice here.
Yeah, and you're not in complete lockdown yet, but it's on the way.
We're not in complete, yeah, but it's on the way. I think today, tomorrow, I think at least in Bavaria they will say, yeah, that's it. Wow. Because people have a tendency to be not listening.
Like Australians and Americans, we just do our own thing. Hey, it's just a virus. We can't see it. It can't hurt us.
Yeah. But for me, it's really, I think they're right because I'm not. It's not about me if I get sick or not, because the likelihood of dying is really, yeah, not too much. But well, for my mother or for my parents-in-law, yeah, more dangerous, and as well for the people in the hospital, because they will work like shit, you know. And so my job is to stay at home and to radiate hope and living. So.
And magic.
And magic, yes.
Now, I met you at FISM, I think was the first time we met.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it was in Stockholm, or 1 year before that.
Dresden.
Yeah. Dresden, yeah, with the flicking fingers.
Yes, you were doing that amazing lecture that blew everybody's mind. You redefined the art of the magic lecture.
Yeah, we didn't have that in mind, but yeah, it happened to be. That's true.
Well, the great thing was that what you did, though, for so long, magic has been a solo pursuit where the magician stands in the center of the stage and not only performs alone, but also does their own direction, their own lighting, their own costume design, their own makeup doesn't make up their own tricks usually, they just steal other people's tricks. But that's how the magician used to work. And then suddenly we see at Dresden, these 10 guys all working together, and we're all like, what? I think almost everyone tried to get, after they saw the first lecture, they tried to get into the second lecture, and it was even more crowded than the first one. It was amazing.
Yeah, that's true. My father-in-law stepped in and brought me some cables to do more shows on the internet. Yeah.
Your supplies. No toilet paper though.
No. But the good thing about the toilet paper, the day before, my wife came in and she said, look what I got. A friend of mine, she was shopping, and all of a sudden they appeared to be fresh toilet paper. And so her friend brought some toilet paper for her or for us as well. So I think there is a lot of humanity, even in the toilet paper business right now.
I think so. I think so. We're getting off topic, but I got to tell you, a friend of mine was in the our supermarket, and because he's old, he's quite elderly. Yeah, he looks older than he is, but he's in his 60s, and he was there. And as he was at the checkout, the lady said, "Do you need any toilet paper?" And he was like, "Well, why? There's none on the shelf." She said, "I can get you some." They're just looking after the old people. They're like, "Oh, I've got some under the counter for you. Don't show anyone else. Go, go, run, run, go, go." It's amazing. Anyway, so back to the lecture. The lecture was incredible because it was like, nobody had seen magicians working together before.
Yeah, and this experience really it changed my life and my way of thinking about magic and about art and about business and about career, because the 11 of us working together was artistically a real sensation for me, and I think for the other guys as well, because we were all thinking about magic, but always from a different perspective. So everybody is, we were looking for one trick, and the one guy said, yeah, the story is like this, or the technique is like that, or the background, the history. You have to think about the historic background, and or about a character in which we perform. And this working together inspired me a lot, and at the end of the day, it inspired my career as well. Because, to be honest, we met because of the Flicking Fingers, and because of that, I had the chance to be in Australia some years ago with you, and thanks to because for me alone, this wouldn't have happened. And to go to Vegas or Australia or some of the other places, New York or so. But as the ensemble, we had the chance. And so working together for me is quite strong in my genes as an artist. Yeah.
Well, you mentioned Australia. I will show a clip right now from that trip to Australia, where all the Flicking Fingers came together, and we actually performed a little tournament of MagicSports. So this clip is Make a Trick, where yourself, Thomas Fraps, and me were given the task of doing a brand new trick, inventing a brand new trick with a computer mouse, a bottle of vitamins, and a piece of butter. So let's take a look.
Hi and welcome to Science Today. We are here today to look at a fantastic new invention, one of the greatest new pieces of modern magic. And now please welcome Professor Fraps. Professor, can you tell us a little bit about your new invention?
Well, it's a computerized, mouse-operated magic robot working with the n-dimensional Hilbert space and quantum operators.
A magic robot?
Yes.
Well, we've got to see that. Can you bring him out?
Well, of course I can.
Wow. He looks so lifelike. He looks exactly like David Copperfield.
It was a little bit difficult from a quantum mechanical point of view to imitate David Copperfield, but I succeeded.
And tell me, can he do, like, for example, I happen to have a butter here. What could he do with that?
Well, he can do almost like anything.
Well, if I was to take the butter just here, could he maybe make it disappear?
Of course he can.
Incredible! I know I can't ask how it's done, but is there maybe a scientific explanation to that magic trick?
Well, kind of. He just disintegrated the molecular formula of the butter and sent all the atoms through the fourth dimension into a wormhole, so it's coming back basically right into the molecular structure of your skin.
Right, it's going to come back here?
No, it's melted into your skin right now.
It's not even sticky. That's incredible. So how does he get it back?
Well, no problem.
Does he have any other tricks he can do?
Well, he can do the same trick just with himself, so he just pretends to vanish the butter by, again, disintegrating the molecular structure of this three-dimensional butter into his two-dimensional hand by squeezing everything, heating it up.
Professor, I think something's gone wrong. This is
Well,
terrible.
this is not terrible. This is Microsoft. We have to use here some acetate tissue paper. Okay, so you just go here, and then we need the special Revenol Super Power Pill.
So he's not just...
No, actually, he's also physico-chemical. So we just put the pill into his right ear, and he should be able to work again. Basically. Well, maybe I just have to reattach everything very fast here.
Tell me, Professor, while you're getting organized, for example, as you borrow some money.
I think so, yes, of course. Tissue paper, no problem.
Tissue paper. Maybe a $50 bill, perhaps? Would that be
Whatever,
some money?
whatever.
Some money? Oh, he's looking. I think you better do what he said. Just a $50 bill. We'll do something. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. If you could just remember the serial number, there we go. It's a subtlety. Here we go. So take the bill like this, and he can just make this disappear like he did with the bug.
We try. It's just a new program, but no problem.
That is amazing. That is absolutely amazing.
And now watch where it reappears. Oh. Malfunction again. What's that?
Does he need some of those pills again or something?
I think so. Oh, not only a pill, there is butter inside.
What?
Yes, there is butter inside. Have a look yourself. I'll get this for you. And what he did.
He looks a little happier now. But this is impossible.
He just mixed quantum mechanics with relativity theory,
Which means it's very slippery butter.
he accelerated the bill to the speed of light, and it grows, and grows, and grows.
And inside the butter,
Yes,
Oh yeah. I couldn't remember, but it was very fun, right?
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I really love your idea about MagicSports because I combined improvising and magic for myself, but to bring the idea of theater sports with all the background of Keith Johnston and to magic, I think it's really a very, very brilliant step because it's a lot of fun and we can learn and try out so much new stuff. This is also the set of mind, so that something seems to be impossible, like with the vitamin Martin. I still kind of can remember what my first story. How the heck what shall we do with that kind of thing? And but it can be done even with this absolutely mixed kind of book. And I think we are as a society, as a world, as a human beings all over the world, as magicians and artists, we are in kind of this situation right now as well, where the virus settles in some places where you think, okay, that's really not good. It's really hard. The business is breaking down. All my shows, my talks, everything, my workshops, everything is cut down. There's nothing but online. And so I'm myself, I'm an online snail, very slow, and I don't like it too much. But on the other hand, now I'm talking to very good friends in Australia, and we do this because, well, it's thanks to the virus in a way, and there's a lot of chances. Yeah, I'm looking at this venue there.
Yeah, it's a rebirth, reset. Yeah. And now you we'll go back to FISM for a second. You competed at FISM with Thomas Frapps with a puppet show.
Yeah.
And you got third place in Micro Magic, and then the year later, the FISM next, you went back and you took out the Parlor Magic Award.
Yeah.
And we happen to have a clip of that act. Gunther.
Oh, you have? Oh, yeah. Oh, you found that one. I think it is the original one from the FISM thing. I was really a crazy night. I think it was a night. It was very crazy, that convention at that point.
Well, let's have a look.
This is the Olympics of Magic, the World Cup of Conjuring, and for the first time ever, we're going to be allowed to witness magicians battling it out for the most prestigious prize in magic.
I will never forget the feeling when something for the very first time subtly between your fingers is. You will never forget that feeling. Because the best thing is, everybody is looking at you. They were looking at me, at Gunther. And well, then I continued, of course, because I'm pretty sure I can stop any time, you know. Really, I was sure about that. Oh, damn. But on the other hand, I thought, well, what harm can I do if I do one trick or maybe two? I mean, because I was sure I can stop maybe tonight or maybe tomorrow or, well, I was very naive.
This act will strike a chord with anyone who adopted magic as a hobby. It really can become addictive.
And then I was dragged down into the scene. The magic circle, you know? The whole thing. Conventions, competitions, FISM awards. And the worst? Magic dealers. Because there you get the real hard stuff like sponge balls and pom-pom sticks and glimmer boxes. and tea lights. But for that, you need money. You need a lot of money. You get into these magic-related crimes. Like, first, just small things like, say, parties. But you do the real big stuff, like corporate work, you know, or trade shows, or even variety theaters. And you need always for the newest trick. Always, you know, maybe a dove pan or a dye box, or even a sub trunk, or maybe a toppet. In my free time, I practice card techniques. For example, the invisible pass. 123 invisible passes per minute. I've been the king of the invisible pass. You want to see one? I still can do it. It's no problem. All I do is I need a deck of cards, and there we go, invisible passes. Damn. No, I don't need that one. Well, would you say stop whenever you want? Remember the card, and there we go, invisible passes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And of course I knew he was thinking of the ace of spades. 29, 23, 30, 31, 32. Did you see a pass? No, it's not possible. They're invisible. But I don't need that anymore. I don't need any more magic magazines or gimmick or tricks. I will look for a job now, a normal one. And then in my free time, I go to the zoo with my son or to the playing ground. And then Andrea, she will notice that I'm serious about quitting magic, and she will come back to me, and we are a happy family again. You will see, my name is Gunther, and I'm a magician, but I can handle it. I can deal with it. I can stop anytime. You name the day and I stop. You can trust me on that.
Gaston's act went down really well with the audience, and we caught up with him backstage. How did you come about creating an act like that?
Well, actually, it was with a friend in a TV studio. We were joking around that for me, doing magic is like being addicted, because I played all the time, and then we tried to put that on screen, and we liked it.
Yeah, I remember that very well, because this performance, it is not visible because it's a shortcut. But in this performance, everything, and I mean everything, went wrong. Nothing worked according to the script. Nothing. The microphone broke, they had to redo the microphone, then they broke some of my preparations. The MC tried to save the situation and gave away that my chair is prepared like hell. And in my mind, it was like, really, there is nothing. I will lose everything. They will take everything away from me. They will kick me off stage. Because, well, the plan was to produce 4 burning cigarettes, and in reality, I produced 1 broken, not burning cigarette. I really was, and then at some point, I remember that very well. I realized this is not the show I planned. So but let's have fun with what it is. And I remember very well, because in the act, I'm telling about my son that I am not no longer able to see, or no longer allowed to see. And I think maybe 20 seconds after I told that, and then it was already kind of depressed. The character was depressed, and all of a sudden, a little kid cried very loud, so that 2,500 magicians heard the little kid crying. And that was the moment I said, okay, thank you, God. I stopped playing. I listened to the crying kid. And my son, the character son is called Peter. And then he said, Peter, is it you? And everybody cried. That was very, very funny and very good. And I kind of, I won the FISM award, and I almost was won Grand Prix. I was second in that.
Wow.
And I'm so glad, because we were talking about improv, because in improv I was trained together with you, together with the guys, together with Keith Johnson, his ideas in my mind, and to stay happy, you gotta lose. And at that night, in this performance, I took everything as an offer, and I said, wait, stay happy. Stay happy. So there was a little Keith Johnson sitting on my shoulder, and I said, stay happy. There's a chance. Stay happy. Come on, go on. It's a chance. This will make your show better. Come on, let's do it. Stay happy. And I'm very, very grateful for Keith Johnson's ideas and for the possibility to rehearse so much improvisation and combine it with magic. So thank you too, Tim.
So you're really known best for your character works with Gisbert and Gunther, and you have a new character.
Yeah. Her name is Jacqueline, and she is a French showgirl. She was written as a French showgirl for a show I did, where I played at the end of the day. It was a magic show. I played 10 characters, 5 are male, 5 were female. And the basic idea was that these characters, there are, when, for example, when Shakespeare wrote Hamlet, then he was thinking about the sister of Hamlet. But then he said, no, Hamlet should not have a sister. So he canceled his sister. And so I play the sister of Hamlet, which was thought by Shakespeare, but got cut out. And these characters, they're living in the hats or wigs down in the basement of a theater where a guy is living, and he's responsible for all the props and costumes and stuff. And he collects all the stuff that is really thrown away. And in the wigs and hats, there were living these characters. And one of the characters was Jacqueline. And I learned so much together with her, or with all the girls, but Jacqueline is now the spokeswoman, the spokesman. She's speaking for the female characters.
Well, we'll have a little look at the clip, and then you can explain a bit more about Jacqueline.
Yeah.
Bonsoir, and greetings from Germany. My name is Jacqueline. Je m'appelle Jacqueline, and I am the stand-in for Monsieur Gaston. Because today it's about new beginnings, new year, new beginnings, and new beginnings, there is always something magical to it. Yeah, not a new beginning, but also something risky. Yeah? And when I was born 7 years ago, you can believe that I was kind of a big risk for Monsieur Gaston. And so he decided not to bring me out to the big public right from the beginning, but to try out on smaller venues, smaller risks. And so we invited some friends. Then we invited some magic friends, and then some actors, and later on some conservative people, but very small groups. And so we took one risk after the other, and we had always a new beginning, a new premiere, as you might say. And then I went to a little theater, and we tried out all the things we learned so far, and tried out something new, even more new beginnings. And so many new beginnings made a big adventure. And today, I'm having kind of my own career. Yes, I'm seeing big magic color shows here in Germany, or even in the Magic Castle. And I have my own magic show, and I'm doing close-up, stage, and parlor magic. So I quite do a lot. Sometimes I work together with Monsieur Gaston, sometimes I work alone. And right now, we are having a new career as keynote speakers, yeah? About the communication between men and women, because we learned so much about exactly that field. So from a small beginning 7 years ago, today, I have a quite big adventure, just one step after the other. The only really secret is make the steps small and keep a goal in your sight. So I hope you have a goal to find a new adventure this year. So maybe we see it, or next time you will see Monsieur Gaston again. So, au revoir and bye-bye.
Well, you see, I selected this clip. First of all, it's in English, and second, it's fitting today's thoughts and thinkings and the virus as well. But for me, it was really a big gift to have invented her, or that she kind of lives through me. Because now I have a new career. I'm a magician, and I'm a female magician, and I'm a speaker, and I'm a female speaker, and I'm a trainer and a coach, and I'm a female trainer and a coach. So for example, I taught the CEOs and the female bosses of the Ministry of Food in Bavaria in body language, while wearing, I think, exactly the costume you have seen right now. And if you think about it, it's Bavaria, right? And it's the ministry, and they booked me to do that. That's kind of crazy, right? I never would have thought about doing this. And a very nice thing about this very specific character, or with all my characters in a way, like Easter as well a bit, is that, well, I can be booked for the same venue twice or thrice, doing more or less the same trick, but they feel completely different if I do them or if Jacqueline does them. So for me, character work, it pays off.
And I noticed that Jacqueline is not a character as such. She's very realistic.
Yeah, for two reasons. First, I didn't want to make travesty per se, so not being more woman than a woman, but be very authentic. As an actor, that was my goal. And I think, because my experience with characters, with strong characters and magic, is that the stronger the character is, or the more apart from magic the character is, the more the magic will lose. So if you have the time and go back to Gunther, you might notice that at certain point, the tricks are not so, well, they're not so strong, or seem not to be very strong, because the acting is so powerful, so much emotion. And the same thing happens when, for example, I don't know, the Chief Geronimo from the North American tribes of the Apache does an ace assembly routine. Everybody will ask why. Why? I mean, why? So whenever you try to do a character, the stronger, the more you need to do that, is that you write into the biography of the character that he or she has something strongly to do with magic. So Gunther is kind of working because he is a magician in a very emotional state. So the character is not leading away from magic. The emotions in that case do. And with Jacqueline, she is a showgirl. So she is into singing and dancing and doing magic because she worked with a magician for some time and then they split. And she does now magic on her own. And for that, it's quite clear why the character is doing the magic, and this will not produce question marks in the heads of the spectators. And I think this is very important.
Yeah, one of the things I've always found with mixing storyline and magic, as soon as you get a really interesting story, as you say, the audience will start to move away and forget about the magic. And it really lessens the magic if the story's too good. And conversely, if the magic's fantastic, they're not interested in the story. So finding that balance is really, really hard.
There is a German playwright and theater guru of the 1920s, 1930s, Bertolt Brecht. And he had the idea, because he was a very political, he was very in the Communist Party, and so he was very political, and he wanted to reach out to bring a political message to the people. And in order to do that, because he realized when I do the theater, and the theater is too good, the story is too good, then the people follow just the story and don't think anymore. So he kind of created a way of, I think, the magic way with Juan Tamariz is an equivalent to that, because he tried to do things to take the spectators out from the story again and again. And he did this, for example, that the character is moving out of character and saying, now you see the actor Gaston, and he will play the character, and he will do a very good trick, and you will not know where the actors will go. Watch it. And then I do the thing. And or he commented on different ways. So that for example, there were little, I don't know, little papers with, don't listen to the actor, think about it yourself. And I think this could be something interesting to incorporate into magic and character magic.
They're very much breaking down the fourth wall.
Yeah, and for magicians, the more realistic a character is played, the less the character is still interesting, but he will not carry you away from the magic. Jeff Hobson is a very good example, because he is a very strong character, but it seems very realistic, right? Mm. You wouldn't believe that he's not gay, which he is not. But he makes a lot of fun out of this kind of this story, but the magic still is very strong with him. Mm. And Jacqueline, she's kind of has the same impact.
And do you get people saying they don't believe you're a woman?
Sometimes, because very often I start as a man and turn on stage into a woman. And if I do this, for example, very early in the show and stay in character until the very end, sometimes people come and tell me or the other people, oh, you know, that woman that dressed up as a man in the beginning, she was very funny. And sometimes their reality is kind of changing. That's the reason why I'm working with her as a speaker, because reality changes. Within me, sometimes I catch myself thinking things I never would think if I'm not in the character of Jacqueline. And sometimes the world around me is kind of changing, and they treat me as a woman, which is sometimes very nice and sometimes not.
So you've taken a whole new insight onto the life of women.
Yes, and with this a completely new insight, because I got some information which I never thought, because you know, my wife and me, we are kind of, we're speaking the same language, we're doing the same thing, but I realized when I'm walking down the street and she's walking down the street, the experience might be completely, and I mean completely different. And this led me also to the, to the thought that if it's so different between men and women, which is kind of, well, we know it, and in a way we don't know it too much, but the same thing is happening between, well, if an Australian guy is walking down the street and a German guy is walking down the street, maybe this is different too. Or if a CEO is walking down the street, or his secretary is walking down the street, maybe different story too. So but we think my reality is the only reality there is, which is, as I found out, not the case.
This has been a great chat. Is there something you want to leave us with?
You want me to do a little trick or something?
Absolutely.
I prepared something from the Gunther's act, and I tried to do a little improvisation, and I hope I do it correctly. This is thank you to Gunther, because you invented this little beauty. It's not about toilet paper. It's something that could be used instead, of course. All of a sudden, this becomes very, very, how to say it, very precious. And it seems that we are living, I go a little bit more now, right? It seems that we're living in a time where everything is destroyed. Our business is destroyed. Our life is destroyed. They're just broken pieces. But if you think about it, you will notice that within all the destruction in here, there is potential to create from fresh and new. And it will be something maybe different, maybe it looks the same. But at the end, it's just about seeing chances and finding new venues online or later on or in hybrid or whatever. So let's do and work together all around the world for better communication, better show business in online, and well, in our lives. Thank you.
Thank you so much for chatting with us, Gaston, and I hope the situation improves everywhere. We're all in it together, as you said.
Good. Bye-bye. See you.